What's up guys, Sal here. So when Samsung introduced the first Galaxy Note, they received a lot of criticism from the mainstream media for its gigantic size.
Bottom line, you're gonna look really dumb holding this up to your face.
I need to show you my new phone. New phone.
That is ridiculous.
Samsung has no idea what they're doing.
This is like talking to a piece of toast.
People are actually calling this thing a phablet.
Skip over the Samsung Galaxy Note completely.
But little they knew that it's gonna change the landscape of the smartphone industry. It can be gauged from the fact that large screen phones have become so common that the word phablet has lost its relevance. Even Apple, who criticized Samsung for their big phones, are now making big display smartphones themselves. That being said, with the latest announcement of the Galaxy Note 10 right around the corner, let's take a look at how the Galaxy Note has evolved over the years, which single-handedly kickstarted the trend of large screen phones, which is a norm these days. Samsung released the first Galaxy Note back in September 2011. It was the first top-end Android device to sport a stylus and had a 5.3-inch display, which was considered gigantic back then. It had top-of-the-line specs as well, which sounds weird in 2019, but the technology wasn't as good back then as it is now, so it's understandable. The interesting thing is, even with all the criticism and trolling, the Galaxy Note was an instant hit which sold over 10 million units in the first year alone, which gave them confidence to launch a series of devices in the years to come. After the success of the original Galaxy Note, Samsung simply had to release a refined successor. The Note 2 improved upon each and every aspect. The design was inspired by the Galaxy S3 and had a quite impressive spec sheet as well. Samsung perfected the areas in which the first Galaxy Note was underperforming. The S Pen was improved, the camera produced some of the outstanding images back then, and it also had an HD Super AMOLED display. All in all, what the Galaxy Note started, the Galaxy Note 2 pushed to great extent. With the Galaxy Note 3, Samsung showcased the newest design language at that time, with the fox leather stitching on the rear, which brought more premiumness to the handset. It had grown up in size as it had a 5.7-inch 1080p display. The camera for the first time was able to record 4K videos and basically had the best specs that you could have at that time. Also, they released a toned-down version of the Note 3, the Galaxy Note 3 Neo, which had mid-range specs and intended for the emerging markets. The Note 4 is the same old Galaxy Note winning formula, perfected as much as it gets. It had a Quad HD display as well as a metal frame, bringing more premiumness to the handset. Also, for the first time ever, Samsung unveiled a device with a display curve at one side and called it the Galaxy Note Edge, a device with such an intricate form factor which quickly became the norm in all the Samsung flagships in the years to come. With the Note Edge, Samsung proved the critics wrong and gave a message that they are at the forefront of smartphone innovation. The Note 5 saw a big design change. Samsung used a glass metal design that looked really good, but it also saw some sacrifices. The microSD card slot was missing, there was no removable battery, and they ditched the IR blaster. Also, they didn't sell the Note 5 in Europe for some reason. It was a great phone nonetheless, but it definitely split the fan base, and a lot of loyal Samsung fans were unhappy with the decision Samsung made with the Galaxy Note 5. Samsung quickly learned their lesson and brought back the microSD slot in the Note 7. It had a dual curved display, and literally the Note 7 was the best smartphone that has been ever made at that time. The S Pen saw improvements and had an IP68 rating. It also had an iris scanner, which was the first smartphone to feature such a tech. Basically, it was a complete smartphone. Sad that it had issues with the batteries and Samsung had to cancel the smartphone, but they re-released it a year later with all the fixes and called it the Galaxy Note FE. The Note 8 saw a new design with small bezels and dual cameras. It improved upon everything the Note 7 offered, plus the S Pen got a lot of new cool features. The battery though was of a mediocre size, which was understandable as Samsung didn't want to take any risk after whatever happened with the Note 7. The Galaxy Note 9 had the exact same design as the Note 8 but saw a lot of improvements internally and had some of the amazing specs of 2018. The S Pen was the highlight as it got a lot of new features like Bluetooth, for example. In my opinion, it was the smartphone of the year 2018. We have talked a lot about the Galaxy Note 10. It's gonna see a design change, will have a punch hole camera up front, top of the line specs, and amazing rear camera. Samsung will launch this on August 7th, which is right around the corner. If you want to keep updated with all the Note 10 updates, do consider subscribing, and as always, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace out.
Right here. They're not. Who the is that guy? Who the is that? You know damn well who I am. Who the is that? Oh my God.